And once we find our nationality and serve that nationality, we'll do for ourselves what needs to be done.
Keep thinking it's games, you already know these beasts kill you on camera, leave you niggas dead in the streets. You're still handcuffed and bloody, but no 911 calls. Bystander effect in full effect, soul watching with y'all, mind blowing. Watching my people holding up traffic of innocent people. My people need to get their ass kicked. Marching and picketing is most cowardice and funkified, while dead bodies just multiply. Sisters killed in their cell, you claim it's hell. You raised and burned down your own community, not one police station. You love pork chops, but I see no police bacon. And when it comes to revolution, most of y'all are faking.
All ethnic groups in this country understand they got a nationality, because you answer to such stupid words like
Black lives don't matter, but you still claim black. Rather film someone get choked out but won't choke back. And the one that uploads first face charges trumped up. What you think will happen when President Trump's up? More killing and murders of stateless herds. Hoods are concentration camps now, ghettos are burbs. Gun stores short on ammo, they're melting down church bells. Blacks seek shelter in temples where God doesn't dwell. That's why a foreigner can walk in and shoot up your service. Praying to invisible gods give you the curses. You pray to relinquish, that's none of my business. I suggest you nationalize with the quickness. I suggest you study law, stop with the bitch shit. In your face I see them spray the pepperish liquid, then pouring white milk on your face. I thought that milk was the devil. Some weapons drown the noise level, poise you rebel.
because you answer to such stupid words like Negro and color and black. You have
The
no
point that I'm
nationality.
making, blacks are mistaken. Call them highwaymen, not cracker pigs or bacon. Taking your tax dollars and riot gear, they relaxing. Cause in a black status, don't even think about a class action. Don't even think about rights being respected without getting injected. I see you infected. Then the same ones that violate the laws you re-elected. Your vote matters more than black lives, feel disrespected. Control the Negroes, looks tested and perfected. That's why about being black I'm skeptic and left it. My people are tripping, walking with arms like panthers who got nowhere in the 60s, so that's not the answer. And black leader, race war instigator puppets teach kill those who killed us as justice. But have they ever killed? I think not. If they did, it's hearsay, nobody to show. Yellow envelope, money in escrow, accounts overseas, not in democracies, living hypocrisies. It's all de jure mockeries, bureaucracies, vampiric, but most can't hear it. It's only the attitude, the regalia is not clan spirit. Until my people wake up, your struggle for rights continue, and your children's organs end up on the elite menu. You love text but delete the messages more send you with no status. You're in the jurisdiction and venue of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of their feet. Of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of your feet.
The name of a people must relate them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. And anytime you call a people by their right name, anytime you call a people, name a people, and fail to relate them back to land, history, and culture, you have called them out of their name. There's no black land or black hole. There's nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong with it at all. Only it doesn't relate to a country. The name of every people in the world relate to country. And once you think instantaneously of land, you think of nationality.
Islam. Peace and love, Moors. We're here once again, Canaanland Moors class. Just to get it out early. This is going to be the last class for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? We got some work to do. So, this will be the last class, but we're going to go into it just because it's that. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to everybody. So, I'm on Facebook and see a picture, you know, graduation picture. Everybody
everybody got the board on. Everybody got the board on, and there's a pheasant there. Like, oh, a pheasant. So click the picture. So we just had to get it on the record because last time I went to Philly, Islam to all the Moors out there. When we did the tour with Ras Ben, we were at some statues, you know what I mean, around the bus, you know what I mean, and Moor was just in the seat behind me. You got some building going on, and you know, you start realizing that there's some, like, people are really talking BS about there's no good Moors, and you know what I mean, Moors this and that or whatever like that. So we want to put a Moor on the record that, you know, according to quote unquote Negro, black, whatever like that, you got to go through an institution, get your stuff or whatever like that, so you could be somebody, right? And you know, in our lessons, we know Joe Ali told us, get a good European education, you know what I mean, so I can use you the way that you're supposed to be used, right? So we're gonna just introduce the good big brother. Brother Bay, you there? Oh, hold on, we got you on. Peace, Moore, you there?
Islam, peace.
Peace. How you doing, fam?
Peace. Islam. I'd like to extend a warm expression of love to all of the Moors out there. First, I'd like to rise and give a perfect praise to Allah. I'd like to give highest honors to Prophet Noble Ali. I'd like to give honors to the forerunner, Marcus Garvey. I'd like to give honor to all of the Moors that can hear my voice right now. Peace and love. I'd like to give honor to you, Cujo, for putting the information out there for the Moors to raise them up, uplift fallen humanity, and teach them to be themselves. Islam.
Islam.
Praise. Thank you for having me on. You know, I'm actually from Pennsylvania, Commonwealth, the very territory where they took the nationality from the Moors in 1774, and then we became slaves in 1779. I graduated from a school, the picture that the good brother was talking about. I graduated from Thaddeus Stevens. If the Moors would do more due diligence, and if they had any association with Taj, we would know that Thaddeus Stevens, Charles Sumners, and Horace Greeley were pivotal for the execution of Lincoln, President Lincoln, Islam. And what I did for me was monumental, because once I found this information out, I thought it be fit, and that our ancient ancestors will be able to walk across that stage in our righteous and our national and religious headdress. There's a lot of things going through my mind. If you get a chance to see a picture, you'll see everyone else has the mortarboard and it's black. And I have the our national and religious headdress on. And going through the tunnel and going through the pathways, I had internal dialogue in reference to should I go through with it? You know, should I move forward with the fez on, because I had the mortarboard in my hand, and I had an internal thought, and you know, in the Quran it tells us, or the Moorish Keys 101, it tells us where's the closest place we can meet Allah, and it's in the heart. And we're talking about the alive man, and I like, it was almost like I felt like when I was going through this particular demonstration, like I was in the wilderness, because there was doubt that rised up, you know, second guessing myself. And what I ultimately came up with is that this is profound and is very important, that this message, the message, just by me coming in to a big crowd. Now, I want to let everyone know that at Thaddeus Stevens, this particular crowd, it was the 106th graduation, which equals 7, which is the perfect number, the logos. There's a lot of profound things that happen on this particular graduation. Also, when I walked up and I walked through, this was the largest crowd that this school has ever graduated. This is the largest graduating class. It was 417 students. Typically, this particular school pushes out maybe 200 students, 200, 300 students. We had 417 students. The purpose of me doing this, because just a little background, I was the first one, before I became conscious and before I declared my nationality and reclaimed my birthright and activated what Prophet Noble Ali brought for all of us. I went into that institution, Negro, Black, and Colored. And in that Negro, Black, and Colored, I started the first black, they call it the BSU, the Black Student Union. Wanted to uplift the people. I wanted to give them a sense of meaning. I wanted to find a sense of meaning. And in this journey, I ended up finding who I truly was. So there's more than just one degree was accomplished. I got a degree in electronic engineering, and I also got the highest degree, you know, and still working on it with nationality and birthright. And if I don't do anything else, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. The whole purpose of that was symbolically to show the Moors that we are here, because so many of the people, or our leaders that sold us out and continue to sell us out and tell us we're Negro, we're Black, we're colored, Ethiopian, or any other non-Degir, or any other label that takes us out of the constitutional fold of men, to show them that, no, the lion has awakened, and we're here, and we're ready to claim what's ours. Islam, I mean, like you said, Brother Cujo, like when we went to that particular, that tour was profound, because it reiterated what we've been reading with the Prophet, what we've been reading in the Quran, what we read when we go back into our history, when we read congressional records, that, you know, we're not Negroes, we're not Blacks, we're not colored, we are Moorish, we're from Moorish descent, we're the ancient Moabites, you know, and this is our genealogy, we're the true Americans. And I heard you in one of your sessions, you talked about, you know, in reference to that there's, you know, what type of state of mind do we have? You know, me personally, I went and got my appellation changed. I did my declarations with RV Bay. I did that, and it worked, you know. But I also wanted to do it on their side, so I went and got, I got my appellation changed. And it reflects the same name that I sent around to the 7 locations. And so now I have an ID card, and on that ID card, well, actually on my license, the reason why I have a license is because I do business out here and I have to rent things. But I have it on, my my bay on that document, but I also have my fez on. And when these policy enforcers pull me over, they leave me alone. They leave me alone. We have to give back the European what's theirs. And we have to, you know, move forward. And we have to be what we know and not what we were told. So I like to thank you for you just allowing me to be able to speak. And hopefully what you know, the pictorial of, you know, me being on those particular photographs, and they took numerous of them. I think there's 6 total on this website with Thaddeus Stevens. Did it be inspiration? It'd be a clue where people say, why does he have that on? What does that mean?
Right.
You know, and to realize that, all right, that's me, you know, because we can talk till we're blue, but if we don't start demonstrating and showing, you know, and believing and being what we know and doing what we need to do to be true and not being lukewarm, giving it back and taking back what's ours with the good and the bad. Islam, so that's where I'm at.
So your activity, as far as, you know, because based on your foundation of study and, you know, who you came up learning from, right? We know that in those teachings it's for us to be active, right? How do you qualify what you're doing as active, opposed to people thinking active is go to court or deal with a highwayman or, you know, claim a house, or, you know, because people's perspective of what the activity as far as being a Moor is based in, you know, some type of, you have to prove something to some European or some corporate whatever, you know. So not having to deal with that level of it, you know what I mean, risk of getting arrested or whatever because you want to be yourself. Like how is it for you that this is your activity, what it is that you're doing, or what you decided to do with regard to exercising your birthright?
Well, yeah. In reference to what you said, active. I take everything in. You know, a brother Set and Rod, we had dialogue, and one of the things he said, you know, we have to be able to eat the fish and throw away the bone. And with me, as far as my activity, I live this every day. The one thing that we have to realize is that Moorish science isn't a Sunday, a Friday. It's not just holy day. It's just not Sunday school. It's every day.
Right.
It's like, you know, you have to immerse yourself into what you want to become. And what I was taught from my teacher, brother Terry Linda Hill, he said, you know, when you ask a person what does their future look like, what your thoughts were yesterday, you know. So we are creators, and being creators, the way that me and my wife do it is that every day we just practice and exercise the strength of what the Prophet gave us. We, you know, yeah, I have a driver's license, but I still travel. Like I use that particular driver's license only to rent it. But when I'm traveling in my capacity, I travel in my capacity. Right. You know, I'm traveling. So I know the difference. The one thing that this has done is it has empowered me. It empowered me to be able to know the difference, be able to know between a private, how I'm operating privately and how I'm operating publicly. And it also, the one thing that it really has taught me, it has taught me that, you know, a lot of Moors say today, you know, that Quran is a religious thing. No, we have to look at this Quran as law. That's how I look at Quran. You know, that's where the ordinance and the statutes is. You know, that Quran tells you at 43, it tells you, be wise, O ruler, and learn. It tells you that you're the ruler of the land. It tells us things. You know, and what me and my wife have learned is when we digest this Quran, and we're not religious fanaticals, but we believe what the Prophet brought, but we also believe what's in that Quran because there's keys, and as you unlock them keys, you know, what is said in the Quran, as man unfolds, God unfolds. And when you start unfolding in a godly manner. They had no other alternative but to submit to your will.
Mm.
And that's what we've learned. And this is what we continue to learn. You know, we want to be the manifestation of, it's just not being all talk, but show. You know, we want to show what we're doing.
Mm.
And in our showing, we're demonstrating that this is who we are. And we want to be the manifestation of Allah walking on earth.
Right.
So that's where we're at, you know. In reference to, you know, the policy enforcers and all that, you know, the funny thing about that, me and my wife went up to Virginia, and we was with Brother Canaanland with the Unity Temple, Unity Temple number 9, Grand Major Temple. And the one thing is that in his particular temple, he has sheriffs in his particular temple. And what he said is that when they do their briefings, like especially the sheriffs, they want to know what the Moors are doing. See, they don't call us Negro, black, and color in their private rooms. They're calling us who they are in them judge chambers. They know who we are. We don't have to prove who we are. He's proving that we're doing is just to prove to ourselves who we are, and not, you know, instead of outwardly trying to prove to someone else who you are, because they know who you are.
Islam.
You know, they just are scared, and they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know who you are. But once they recognize that you know who you are, they do submit. They do give you like a glance and say, "Wow, yeah, he's awoke." You know, it comes out in our oracle, Joe. You know,
right.
Once you start being what you know, and no longer you know, man knows not by being told, and you're being what you know, you are fruition. Well, then all you can do is be what you know, and when you're being what you know, when you're being what you know, you're the manifestation of righteousness. And, you know, and that's what we want to be, you know. The Moors get a negative connotation, and it's always biased. You know, they never give you a whole story, the whole thing. But why not, you know, I took this particular time to say, all right, let's put us in a positive light.
Right.
We're not coming out of jail, you know. It's not a mug shot of, you know, me trying to repossess a home. It's not a mug shot of, you know, me trying to, you know, take a bank account or, you know, do something fraudulently, they say fraudulently, but it's all fraud, you know. But it's something that's uplifting for the little ones, because the next generation is what counts. Right. So what I wanted to do was, if you don't mind, if you can get, like, my wife is right here with me, and if she, like, if it's all right if I give it to her and let her give her perspective.
Oh yeah. We gotta give mother her. Oh yeah. That's cool. Islam.
Yeah, she's right here.
All right.
Brother.
Islam. How you doing?
It's good to speak with you this evening. How you doing?
Everything's peaceful. We got about 11 Moors online right now as well, listening in. So they send their Islams as well.
So what
we're talking about your thoughts of the graduation.
Now since one thing I want to ask, since you're sort of coming from the outside, like you didn't go through the quote unquote ceremony, right? In the picture that I have, where it shows all the graduates, right? There's a couple individuals in there that, you know, they kind of, there's one guy that looks like he's mad. He has his hands crossed or whatever like that. He just looks bummed. And then there's another man kind of peeping around somebody like he's trying to see, you know what I mean, what's going on or whatever. So before you go in on what you are going to talk about with regard to your experience, could you talk about some of the reactions that you saw from the side, you know, knowing what you know and you know, how things are perceived?
Well, I will say that before we even went to the ceremony, Kahimra had his fez and he had the, you know, traditional graduation cap with him. And I wasn't sure exactly, you know, how he was going to represent. And so when I came in, I was standing, there was no seating for me, and I was standing there with my camera, and I was anticipating him coming in, but I mean, I couldn't tell any of the individuals apart. And when he walked in, the first thing I did was I did an about face. I ran to my aunt and I said, he has on his fez, he is representing. And then I ran back to where I was initially standing, and I prepared my camera. The crowd that was around me was silent, and some of the women were saying, "Why? What is that? Why does he have that on?" You know. And so I let them say whatever they were saying, because at that moment I was so I wasn't just proud because he was graduating. I was thinking about the prophet, and I was thinking about my father, God Allah.
Right.
I was thinking about his Kahim Ra's grandson, and he's only 5 years old. And we want to raise him to know we are raising him to know who he is. And what better way than to see his grandfather walk out in the crowd as a Moorish American. And so, you know, the people were looking at him and staring at him, and many of them were referring to his fez as a hat. But, you know, the sister, I was like, it's called a fez. And there was no seating for me. And so I had to travel to another area in order to watch the ceremony. So I went to the balcony, and I said to the people that were sitting in front of where I was standing, when my husband goes to get his, would you mind if I come forward to snap some photographs? And they said, yeah, where's your husband? I said, oh, you can't miss him. He's over there in the red fez. And they were smiling, and they said, congratulations. Why do you have the fez on? Why does he have the fez on? And I said, he's a Moorish American, and he's representing for the Moors today. And they said, well, congratulations. And they were very, very happy for Kahim and myself. The energy was really high. I couldn't stop smiling. We had several other pictures at home, and it was just, it was twofold. It wasn't just about, it was something bigger than us, you know, and the administration there at Thaddeus Stevens, they know about the Moorish Americans. And, you know, when they called out Kahim's name, they didn't say, he didn't have them say that. He had to say Kahim Barnes Bay. He had them say C and Bay. So when they yelled out C and Bay, and the administration, when he got up there, you could see all of their faces. Some of them were, the president was just, he just looked at Kahim because he knows Kahim, Kahim Ra. He looked at him and, you know, shook his hand and everything. But there were people up there who were angry. Or some of them, they looked like they were just blatantly frustrated. When we come out and we represent, it's just like, there's some frustration and some anger that comes from people, because I don't know if you're familiar with the prophet's warning, but, you know, stop showing your cards, because your cards, they cause confusion. They cause frustration. They remind the Europeans that this is not their land, and go home. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
no doubt.
So when he was up there and he was walking across the stage, you know, I could see their expressions, and I couldn't move, and I stood there for a while just so I could take note of it. And people were shocked. It was the older Europeans that were really taken aback. The younger ones were just, you know, questioning, what is it? Why does he have that red quote-unquote hat on, and all you have to do is explain.
Yep.
It's just that simple. A simple explanation, and then they want to know more. Especially when we say that the fez this is our royal headdress. This is what we're supposed to, we are ordained to wear when we're in public. I had my turban on with my Moorish American pin with the crescent moon and star on. And so, people were asking questions, but at the end, like I said, the energy was high.
Yeah.
Some people were frustrated. You can't, hey, it is what it is. I'm sure you have, I'm familiar with the picture that you have.
Yeah.
And as you can see, Kahimra is standing there, and what's behind him?
Right. Yeah.
The flag is behind him. And I think that particular flag does have the yellow fringe around it.
No,
and,
that one
lets
didn't.
everyone know that. Hello?
Yeah, that one didn't. It doesn't look like it has it on it.
Have that on there?
Yeah.
Well, that's what, all I could think to myself was, you know what? Just represent, because that's what we need to do.
Right.
People need to be aware of what's going on, and they need to wake up, and come forward and again be be what they know. Just be what you know. So I think I feel so privileged that you wanted to speak to me about my experience. I could not stop smiling, and that day was ordained by our Father God Allah, and the prophet was in the house.
Yeah,
You hear me?
He was definitely in the house.
Yes. The prophet was in the house, and what was going through my mind was a rap song, and I don't remember all the other words, but I remember I remember the refrain, and it said, "It's the return of the Holy One. The Holy One is finally returned. Yes, yeah." So yes, and that's what was playing. That hip hop is part of who I am, and that was what was playing in my mind. When Kahimra was walking across the stage.
Yeah.
So, again, it also resonated with me that this is a degree.
Mm-hmm.
This is another degree in his life that he can use, to raise up the Moorish American.
Right.
We're getting older, and as everyone else is, but Kahim has a certain set of skills that he can say to the young men and the young women, all right, now look, this is what I know, and I can't do the work, but I can demonstrate for you and have you do. I can tell you, and you can do the work.
Right.
He can pass it down, and so I'm just really I'm elated that experience was something that we went through, and I'm glad that we were able to share that with you, my brother.
Thank you.
And my sisters that are on the line.
Islam. Yes. We definitely appreciate you taking the time.
Brother Cujo?
Yeah, Moor.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing before you move forward.
Yeah, brother.
Me and the sister, we actually went down to Virginia, and we went into the additive chamber. Actually, we finished our additive chamber in Chicago, but in October at the convention. But we did receive a warrant of authority, and this is what I want to say to the Moors, is that we need to get in these temples and we need to set them straight.
Right.
These temples are regency, and the prophet put power behind these temples, and so we don't need to complain about them. We need to get in them and clean them up, because the temple, there's nothing wrong with the temple. It's the people that's in the temple that we need to get in order.
Right.
So we can start building nations.
No doubt.
So we can start building a nation. The Moors you know, we have so many different divisions. We got so many different grand bodies. Guess what? We have one grand body. The prophet brought one grand body. That was the Moorish Temple of America. And then after he was, you know, he was killed and that schism took place and all these fractions took place, you know. What we need to do is come together and put our differences aside so we can deal with the petty things after we take what's ours.
Right.
You know?
I hear you, man.
Like what you're doing, you know? You're enlightening people. That's what we're here for. You know? A lot of people are taking the title of Grand Sheik, I mean, you know, and they're taking it as if, you know, and they see in the divine constitutional bylaws as a divine ruler, you know, executive ruler, you know, can make laws and enforce laws. But listen, you need to learn how to serve first.
Right.
And when you say serve, we're talking about you need to learn how to serve and align you. You know, a lot of times we're just dealing with the lower self, and we think we make the lower self to God, and then not realizing that the higher self is dormant.
Right.
You know, we got like purge. We need to purge that Negro, black, and colored off of us.
Straight up.
Okay? So we got to purge that off of us, and that's what the Quran does. It sets us straight. It helps us purge and get that filth off of us, so we can be a pure and clean nation.
Well,
we're in the temple. But you know what? We're in the temple with our eyes open.
Right. And do this too. Speak.
With our eyes open. We want our members to be in the temple. Our members in the temple, we make sure that their eyes are open because of the fact that you have to build strong ships. And to build strong ships, they need to know what they need to know. You can't hide it from them. You got to give it to them and nurture them and guide them.
Right.
You know? So that's, you know, I say honest to you, brother. And the more under your voice, good to them.
Give thanks, Moor.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you for allowing us to
one more thing before you go, because you mentioned Quran a few times, and part of today was to also address the importance. So I just I'll let that be your closeout. The importance of Moors studying their Quran, because you know Moors are studious, so sometimes you know they might get caught up in other stuff for too long and not go back to the Quran. So just the importance of making sure that you know the Quran is in their near sight.
Yes. Yes, sir. What I want to say to the Moors is the Quran is very important, and what the Prophet brought is very important. We have to put the Prophet in the forefront. So what my teachers taught me, and what I came to realize is that we have to write the information that we have around the Prophet, because the Prophet brought things to us that we still don't know about.
Yeah.
The European knows about it, and hope that we don't find out about it. But the reason why the Quran is so important, because it deals with every aspect of our life. Not just on the plane may manifest the things that we can see. We got to realize that we're multi-dimensional people, individuals. We exist on more than one plane. You know, if you go to chapter 1, it talks about the creation of fallen man, and it lets you know. You know, it tells us that we have a spirit plane, we have a soul plane, we have a plane of flesh made, carnal made manifest. So once we know that, and then it tells you the big theme in the Quran is that Allah and man are one. No superstitious stuff. You know, you can't look outside of yourself and find your God. You got to look within. If you want to find your devil, look within. If you want to find your Savior, look within. You know, the Quran is a theme. It's chapter 4, instruction 16, divine instruction 16. It says the teacher has a clear-cut path, right? Meaning that the teacher, which was the prophet, he left a clear-cut path for us to follow. And we don't need to deviate from it. We just need to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. Now, he did say, if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. But what he's saying is you need to think with what he gave you. You know? Because when we start being individuals and try to do this and do that, you want to be well-rounded. Don't get me wrong. Know your statutes. Know that. But if you realize that you have that Quran and you go in those tribunals, you know, and you say to those tribunals, do you favor my constitution or do you favor yours? And you fall under the supremacy clause, that they don't even have no jurisdiction over you. Because you're following fatwa. You're following Islamic law. You're following divine principles. You know? So if we need to start learning what this Quran says and be as diligent as we are in knowing what these codes are, these U.S. codes are embedded constitution, you know, and when we start going through the Quran, it gives us all aspects of our life and how to clean ourselves up, return back to the spirit of our ancient mothers and forefathers, to move forward as a clean and pure nation.
Right.
You know, that's what I say about the Quran. You know, and I also say don't throw your Bible away. Because that Bible is the ancient Atlantic. Those are the ancient Atlantic records. You know, once the prophet said don't throw your Bible away. So because of the fact that we're going to use that Bible to condemn the European government. Wow. So we know how to utilize the Bible and the Quran, and we know how to use, you know, the big Quran, the Muhammadan. If we can be interchangeable with those things aren't just religious books. Those things are law books. Those are law books, and it seems like that these particular books have been stigmatized with religion on it, and fanatical religion, so when we look at it, we overlook that these are the actual law books that we can govern not only our lives, and you know, socially, politically, economically, so that we can return back to the mindset and the spirit of our ancient mothers and forefathers and move forward as a clean, pure nation, like I said before. So the Quran, please, let's read it. But not let's just read it. It says it's not he who has possession of it, it's he who knows how to use it.
Islam, say that again.
That's where we're at. Then you use it. You know, if you read something, it's one thing, I can read something, right? If I don't understand what I'm reading, I'm just reading.
Right.
But if I read something and I understand what I'm reading and I can effectuate it and use it on everyday life, man, I made it part in every part of my life. And I'm just made it part of the hammer. I just made it the truth. I found that the truth was part in every other part. To the point that I'm manifesting that in my life and people can see it. So now I'm in fruition and I'm being what I know. I'm just not being what I read or someone told me.
Right. Islam.
So that's what I have to say. So,
Islam, Moor. Appreciate that, yo. And thanks for your time today.
thank you, brother. You're doing a great thing.
Islam.
And we give honor to you.
Give honor. Praise Allah.
Islam.
And I love you, brother.
Give thanks, fam. We'll connect. I'll give you a shout later or something.
All right.
All right. Peace and love, Moors.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Right? So we don't want to hear anything from people. You know, shut your trap. We don't want to hear anything. Moor got bait, yelled from the podium. Fez is up, went and got his stuff. No question, no heartache, no nothing. 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 Right? Zero issues. Founder of the first black whatever transitioned there from black into Free National, walked across the stage, fezzes up. But of course, you know, they're gonna talk BS. So they'll put another one. Just so, you know, before they start talking BS, they just had a matter before the courts that started with my son when he was 4 months. My son is now 4 years old, but today I got an expected not guilty verdict again for assaulting a highwayman / police. With the aid of standing on my Moorish square, I was finally vindicated. Thank Allah for Drew Ali. These clowns would have ran their colorable law on me. Don't really care to pursue restitution from this system, but I'll be good with just being left alone to govern myself and my affairs. You can't put a price on peace of mind. On a side note, after Kangaroo Court at Old City Hall, a couple of young lads stopped to randomly ask to take a picture with me. It must be the Moorish. Islam to brother Lanre Obey, who the 4 years of all the BS is finally over, vindicated. No, nothing else, right? Don't forget, this is quote-unquote court. Moors win in court, Moors don't win in court. Who proved that you won in court? Here's one right here. Here's one right here. It's over now. It's finished now. There's no more stuff. Remember the same video with, you know what I mean, the car getting taken and people making videos talking BS about why you asking for the sheriff and why you asking for stuff? Well, look right here. Free. Free man. All the BS that you people were talking. Here he is, free as a bird. Why is he free? Just like he said, because Drew Ali brought something, he studied it. Just like Brother Bay said, if you're studying it, you might as well apply it. Applied it, realize that, hold on a second, when I apply this, you guys can't use your color of law BS? I'm going to apply this every time. I don't care what you guys do. 4 years of stuff going on. Getting kidnapped. Getting followed all over the place. Gonna take his son to the playground. Highwayman following him. Videotaped him. Videotaped the highwayman. Questioning him. Asking him where's delegation of authority. All that. Nobody shot up. Nobody, no take advantage of whatever. You know, you get out the car and none of that stuff. Just sat in his car like a good highwayman and played on his computer, admitting on the record that he's with Canada and stuff like that. Oh, he's with Canada, okay. This is also for all the Moors, the dirty Moors out there who always try to, you know, make it seem like they're dissing, and they say Kudro's Canadian. No, that lets you know they're pushing the corporate stuff. If they're pushing the corporate stuff, then clearly they work with the corporation. They're not working with the people. Why would they be Moors and say Canadian and Canada? Why? We know that Canada's full of BS. We're just going to put it on the record so you can see how BS, because people always say, you guys always talk about, we did the Carabana controversy stuff, sent it to all the black guys. Sent it to all of them. Right? All the black guys, all the groups, all the whoever's out here. Sent them the thing. Zero response from anybody. Right? So we don't rep Canada. We rep Canaanland. Why? Just go ask the Washita. They have the map with it on there. This is what they're about here. Which is why we, as Moors who are here, don't say Moorish Canadian and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We don't rep that jurisdiction like that. We understand it's a corporate jurisdiction. What the duck? The Ontario government will celebrate the country's 150th birthday with a giant rubber duck, and taxpayers are taking a bath. Ontario PC MPP Vic Fedeli said the $200,000 birthday duck tour, more than half of it covered by Ontario, is a sure sign of a government with messed up priorities. I cannot imagine what the rubber duck's connection is to the 125th, Fedeli said. They're laying off frontline healthcare workers right across Ontario. They can't find money for alternative level of care beds, but they can find $200,000 for some kind of duck promo. The 6-story tall, 13,600 kilogram yellow duck is being brought to Toronto by the Red Path Waterfront Festival at a total cost of $200,000, combining a provincial contribution and other funding such as corporate sponsorship. The total grant for the Toronto portion of the tour was close to $121,325 according to Tourism Ministry spokesperson Jeff Costin. Costin denied any funding was specifically for the inflatable duck, arguing the funding is more of an investment, with every dollar estimated to trigger about $20 in visitor spending. This is their math. So the money that they spent, is an investment, because the return on their investment is $20 per visitor. Now, you know, Canada's birthday stuff, especially if this is some 150th birthday, whatever, you know, and you know, of course we know that it's all part of the charade, because there's not no money and all that stuff, and they're just playing this game, right? You know, attention diversion. Get people on things, right? Again, MPP. This is people who are in the stuff. Just like Trafficant was in it, and he was talking like, you guys listen to these guys? Same thing they're saying here. This is not us, this is not Moors talking. This is people part of this saying, these guys are messed in their priorities. If they're spending $200,000 on a duck to float down whatever for corporate Canada's birthday, a duck, a rubber duck, and can't even justify how a duck fits in with Canada's birthday and all that. But it's okay, you know, the people are who they are. You know what I mean? Property. And we just wanted to put this one out for all the young whoever's out there that, you know, listen to whatever they listen to out there. If you know Vic Mensa visited Moor Science Temple. Rapper guy. So rapper guy is at the Moor Science Temple. Think stuff's not, what more you want? Now you remember, this is not a fronting picture of him in a fez in a video or something like that. He's at the Moor Science Temple. Show me some stuff, Jay-Z or whoever like that, at Moor Science Temple. Alright. Now we could start saying that they're repping something. Right? This man's at the temple. Rapper guy. Southside tattoo on his neck and all that. Right? So, trust the words getting out. You know. They already know. We're the ones that don't know. But, you know, luckily we have Moors that, you know, do what they do. Be Moors. And when you be a Moor, stuff happens. And then Moors who are really down with this and for the people or whatever like that, you know, Brother Bay, put it on the record for you. So now you can say, hey, you know what, a more whatever for people who have doubt and stuff like that, right? They do it for you, not really for their self. You know what I mean? They're going to get a little thrill about it or whatever like that, but you know, when they snap some pictures or something like that and say, oh, hey, Moors, look, see what happened? That's for you. So you can use that as a reference point for other people, because, you know, people have doubt that Moors is some religious stuff or whatever, right? So Islam to the good brother that's, you know, always on the move. Was always on the move. So Moore takes a trip to Nicaragua and sees this on a red door. Now, if this, no, this is not something that he knew was there. I'm gonna go see this. This is, he's somewhere and he's seeing himself represented in the brick and mortar of somebody else's culture. And, you know, so I take a picture of it so the Moors could see what's really good. Just took a picture of it so the Moors could see. You know, because, you know, he's a Moor. He's looking out for his brothers and sisters because we got covenant. He could have secretly kept this to himself and then, you know, came out $50,000 for this picture of the fez with the whatever, and, you know, just because we're Moors, hey, we'll go buy that. You know what I mean? We'll buy that. Right? Right? So the Moor brought it back for you. And then also do your research on the red doors in Nicaragua. The interesting stuff. Right? There's a fez somewhere else, etched into, carved into, a fez carved in, that you can't doubt that that's a fez. Especially you got a Moor pointing at it with a fez on. So they can play deny all this stuff all they want. What more do you want to know? What more do you need to know? Everybody's house of cards is crumbling down or whatever like that, and you're not realizing that nationality is the order of the day. Not realizing, you know, the Moor with the Moor shirt on, Moor with the Moor shirt on, with a fez on, pointing at a fez on a wall in some country or whatever, that he just happened to go there. And he just bumped into this. You know, was this something waiting for him? How long has this thing been here? How long has this been planned that he's going to be in this position pointing at this fez on this thing? Or did he tap into genetic memory? And he really can't remember that he put that there. And the only reason that he went here is because his genetic memory bank brought him here. He didn't go here on no trip or whatever like that. Yeah, I want to go a trip somewhere. No, the genetic memory bank is drawing you to be in this position right here, pointing at this thing. that you know, it looks really familiar to stuff that you represent. But this is not even something where you live. This is supposed to be mind-blowing. Right? And again, it's a Moor. So he already knows. So it's not really overwhelming like that. It's more confirmation for a Moor. But for people who think Moors are this and Moors are that, why is this in Nicaragua? Why? How come? How come he's in Nicaragua? Yeah? Still think it's a joke, huh? Alright. Can't win with y'all. Moorish proverb. A man from the village went to see a Moorish adept because he thought he was cursed. He said, I haven't got the money to hire a repairman. I fix my roof and my sink breaks. I fix the sink and my electric goes out. Why is the Creator punishing me, he said. The adept responded and said, without an enemy, a soldier never knows his strength. Without struggle, how can you truly appreciate success? The man left and thought about what the wise man said and decided to let go of all his stress and worry. The next week he was promoted. His former boss was moving and sold him his big house for cheap, but he said there are 3 things you have to fix: the electric, the roof, and the sink. The man smiled and said, that won't be a problem. I know how to repair those things. Right? There's a painting of a Moor. Well, not dressed like no Negro or nothing like that. No. Servants don't dress like this. Servants don't. This is not a servant. No way. No way this is a servant. There's no way this is a servant. No, there's no slaves around, so you can't say he was slave trade or nothing like that. Don't. There's no slaves around, so don't say anything. You know, he's just a Moor standing. You know what he did. You know, based on his gesture, you know, he seems like a reasonable man. Seems noble. You know. Right? Just for the people who are in their conveyances, whether you got licenses or whatever, there's some devilish people out there, so just be careful. That's a syringe right there. So just keep your eyes open when you're pumping, filling up. You know, just check just to be sure. But we don't know. Could be hoax, could be whatever, but you know, why risk getting poked with a HIV needle just because you think it's a hoax? Right? So be wary of using the stuff. So questions and other stuff. American National 7. RV Bay hating ass naturalization Moors. More again. Peace Grand Sheikh Kudro, and peace to all active Moors. This is your brother Shah Atumre El. This email is to expose more of these RV Bay hating naturalization Moors, misleading people via Facebook. One specifically by the name of Hassan El. So how it went was early in the morning. I'm leaving work and decided to jump on Facebook just to see what's good and all, when I happened to scroll across an ambiguous post implicating RV Bay publications and immigration status. Immediately the voice of the maroon lady with the red flag went off in my mind when I spotted the post. It had RV Bay Publications, then a period right after that, and the postmarker began to quote codes about a Nationality Act, and that the true way of having your status as a Moor was to go through immigration via their form I-485 and I-566. Now the postmarker also made another post stating that to go about getting back your nationality any other way other than I-485 status adjustment and I-566 forms are falsifying the Nationality Act and is fraud. When I began to address his BS with this comment section, he made the most dumbfounded and ignorant comment ever by telling me that it is a felony to issue national IDs. When I asked according to whom and if Moors were considered federal citizens, I got no rebuttal or response. Exactly, never do. I immediately understood that this was a Moor jealous of the works of RV Bay and Great Seal. I then began to re-scroll through his page and say that he was down with the New York Republic naturalization Moors, or at the very least follows their teachings. Now Moors are indigenous and not immigrants, so there's no way in hell that putting out our own IDs can be considered a felony on any scale, when the international community has already addressed the matters stated above, as well as HJR 75, which secured our right to use El, Bay, Day, etc. at the ends of names. Hassan El is a clear violator of the Prophet and everything he stood for, and brought to us, is an agent provocateur and should be outed for his folly on a public forum. Safe to say I've already removed him from my circle, and I hope all clear-minded, civic-thinking Moors will do the same. With that, I say peace, peace and love to RV Bay Publications, peace and love to Great Seal, peace and much love to Canaanland Moors. Islam, your brother, Shah Atumre El. And on that note as well, people were bringing up today about this SOVCPR.org. SOVCPR.org. Now, from what is being told to me by somebody pushing the idea, is that this individual, Hendo Henderson, is the world universal chief judge of something. So doing my research, try to find out, where on this site is something showing, where he got his authority to be, how do you become a world universal judge, for the universal world court. Universal world court. Like, okay, I've never heard about this court before, but see what's good. So in 2010, according to the website, Hendo Henderson was firmly seated in the position of the chief ad hoc judge of the Universal World Court. Now, there's no signatures of anybody who made him world chief judge or whatever. So I'm not sure where the authority is coming from as far as him being a universal world court judge, and people are taking it like, international criminal court or something like that. So their concept is that you have to, fill out some index form. Now, doing research on index origin only led to catalog, and catalog being, you know, a synonym of indexing. So, you know, we'll say instead of index, we'll say they're cataloging. So, you know, the question is, well, what are they cataloging? You know, like, why are they cataloging people? Because, you know, according to common sense, you know, people, you only catalog things, you don't catalog people. Especially Aboriginal and Indigenous people. You know, again, we're not foreigners. What's there to catalog? What's there to check for if I'm Indigenous? Like, why are you looking at me? Look at the foreigner. What's the foreigner doing? Don't worry about what Moors are doing. Check what the foreigner is doing. That's the one who's violating. So if we're the Aboriginal and Indigenous people, why do we have to be counted? If we're here, if this is ours, why are we being counted? Well, you know, apparently this has to do with the straw, so you can't do it in any other name other than the name that's on the birth certificate, and then it's going into all this birth certificate stuff. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because in Black's Law Dictionary, it's you know, birds of a feather flock together, right? So we're talking about, the brother sent the email about the naturalization Moors, and then the index people. So I'm in the Black's Law Dictionary looking up index, page 911. Index, a book containing references alphabetically arranged to the contents of a series or collection of volumes, or an addition to a single volume or set of volumes contained such references to its contents. Index, right? Containing such references to its context. So, indexing. They're dealing with the straw and all that. And then there was a word over here, Indenization. I-N-D-E-N-I-Z-A-T-I-O-N. Indenization. Indenization. So with indenization, the act of making a denizen or of naturalizing. So then we say denizen, because it's interesting that the index people and the naturalized people stuff is a page away from each other. Denizen, a person who, being an alien born, has obtained ex donation regis, ex D-O-N-A-T-I-O-N-E R-E-G-I-S, letters patent to make him an English subject, a high and incommunicable branch of the royal prerogative. A denizen is in a kind of middle state between an alien and a natural born subject, and partakes of the status of both of these. The term is used to signify a person who, being an alien by birth, has obtained letters patent making him an English subject. The king may denize but not naturalize a man, the latter requiring the consent of Parliament, as under the Naturalization Act. A denizen holds a position midway between an alien and a natural born or naturalized subject, being able to take lands by purchase or device, which an alien could not do until 1870, but not able to take lands by descent, which a natural born or naturalized subject may do. The denizen becomes a British subject from the date of the letters, while a naturalized person is placed in a position equivalent to that of a natural-born subject. The word is also used in this sense in South Carolina. In American law, a dweller, a stranger admitted to certain rights in a foreign country, or as one who lives habitually in a country but is not a native-born citizen, one holding a middle state between an alien and a natural-born subject, one who has some relation to the enemy nation which is not lost by the alien's presence within the United States. So that's what you do. Because you're really making yourself a foreigner in your own land by naturalizing. You're making yourself a dweller. You're making yourself a stranger admitted to certain rights in a foreign country. You're not a foreign country. If you're a Moor, you're not in a foreign country. Where you say you're a Moor at, that's your country. Because you're a Moor. The whole world. Remember, Dr. Khalid said it. You know, Africa is just the throne. Hey, that's all you want? You just want the throne only? That's it? You don't want the stuff under the throne, around the throne, above the throne. You just want the throne. You just want this chair. That's it. You're content with the chair? And then they're not even giving you a chair? They're saying that you don't even have anything. You're a dweller. And then have nerve to come out and say about RV Base doing, RV Base doing what? They got a website, they're presenting information. You know, but they'll never talk BS about Great Seal, you know, because you know they'll get slapped up by Great Seal. I was going to bring out, yeah, RV Base said, you know, RV Base on nationality card, I see Great Seal on there. How come you guys don't talk BS about Great Seal? How come? How come you always going after, you know, the people who won't do their Harriet Tubman with you? Right? The people who choose to stay humble and not even pay attention to these people talking loose. Right? The birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. Check the processes that they're doing. What is the process? Right? What is the process that they're doing? How are you going to be free? Index. Okay, well, you know, put your name on this list and then we're going to put it in the thing, and then once you put it in the thing, then, you know what I mean, everybody's going to be... Whose thing is that you guys putting those stuff in? Like, whose is it? Is it Universal World Court stuff? Okay, well, if it's Universal World Court stuff that you're putting it in, how come the individual who's running it, his name is Henderson, and he doesn't have a free national name? How somebody without a free national name, head of anything for Asiatics? You're going to free your people, but you're going to do it in the name of the European. And then people are going to be like, yeah, let's go, because that guy has the brilliant idea. You know, many are called. When they're called, they go running, like dummies. They don't know where they're running to, but they're running. They don't know where they're running to, but they're running. Brother Yusuf Matadiel, Islam, give honors to the Prophet. This is a testimony of what my brother Munir, who has been classified as what they would call Puerto Rican, quote unquote. He was traveling with his friends who have no idea that they are Moors. There was 3 of them. Now Munir, he's dressed what you would call, I guess, regular. He doesn't have headdress or anything. While getting pulled over, they were asked for their information. The highwayman asked everyone for their names. They told them, but when it came down to Munir, he said, I don't have a name. They said, well, what do you have? He says to them, I have an appellation. They're like, what? He said it again. I have an appellation, which is, and then he said his free title. The highwayman stepped away and called the sheriff. As they were waiting for the sheriff, one of his friends says, come on, just tell him your name. Munir still stood his ground, never giving up jurisdiction. The sheriff arrived and asked the same question and got the same response. Munir begins to tell them that he is a Moorish American national. Sheriff's response was, you're a Moor? Yes, I am a Moorish national. He says, well, you know, I have to give your friends tickets, and the one driving without a license, we're taking him to jail. And one of them is getting a double fine since we can't give you a ticket, Mr. Bay. You have a good night. Right? So-called Puerto Rican. So-called Puerto Rican. Now let's play this out. Let's play this out. Right? So, some Puerto Ricans in a car. Highwayman comes up, stops them for whatever. Makes them all get out. Gets everybody's name. Remember, these are Puerto Ricans, quote unquote. Right? These are black guys, Negro colors, you know, these are Puerto Ricans. So they're trying to convince their boy to be Puerto Rican. He's like, forget that. You know what I mean? Puerto Ricans bankrupt. I'm Puerto Rican. So he's telling the highwayman, and this is for all those people who do their, well, do it to a highwayman and let us know how that goes. Okay, well, we're letting you know now, dirty Moors, how it goes when Moors who are of a civic, constitutional, divine, metaphysical, esoteric, occult, astrological mindset deal with people, how it goes. This is how it goes. So the Moor, when the sheriff came, told him the same thing that he told the highwayman. Because remember, once the sheriff comes on the scene now, everybody else is mute. They have no power now. Zero power. So we have to ask the question, are Morisco World and these people going to make a video and talk about the highwayman that called the sheriff? Because, you know, Moors, according to these people, you know, why are you calling the sheriff? He's not the law. Why are you calling the sheriff? He doesn't have any authority. Policemen have the authority. Well, policeman called the sheriff. Why would the policeman call the sheriff? Well, you know, why don't we just look up sheriff? Since we're here. Since we're here, we might as well look up sheriff. Because people like to play games with people's birthrights. And really, they really think people are stupid. They really think people are stupid. Not all of us are stupid out here. Some of us actually study and stuff like that, and we know what's up. Right? Just like the Borican, who refused to be classified as Puerto Rican, refused to give them anything that's going to give them jurisdiction over him. They call the sheriff, right? Highwayman called the sheriff. Why did the highwayman call the sheriff? All right, let's see. Let's see why. American law, right? Not U.S. law, not U.S. code. American law. Why is it American law? English law, Scott law, American law. The United States has American law. Oh, the Americans are a copper tone people. So whose law is this really? Who'd Henry Campbell Black really get all this stuff from that he put in here? When he was doing, because there's reference to American law. So clearly, if they got English law and Scott law and all this different stuff, then there must be a jurisdiction of American law that's credible enough to make a reference point to it in the law dictionary. Under sheriff, the chief executive and administrative officer of a county, being chosen by popular election. His principal duties are in aid of the criminal courts and civil courts of record, such as serving process, summoning juries, executing judgments, holding judicial stays, and the like. He is also the chief conservator of the peace within his territorial jurisdiction. When used in statutes, the term may include a deputy sheriff. So, the chief conservator of the peace was called. Why would the chief? Because, from our teachings, if highwayman pulls you over, you call the superior of the highwayman and the sheriff. You never deal with the highwayman, as far as Moors. A so-called Puerto Rican with another bunch of Puerto Ricans said that he doesn't have a name, he has an appellation. And the highwayman called the sheriff. And the sheriff came on the scene and told the Moor, well, your boy over there, he's getting tickets. Your other boy over there, we're taking him with us. And your other boy over there, he's getting tickets and he's getting your tickets. Nationality is not the order of the day? You think not? You think nationality is not the order of the day? Really think about it. That the highwayman gave the stateless guy the Moor's tickets that he couldn't give the Moor. Right? This is where it's at right now. No, not the highwayman. Somebody classified as Puerto Rican knows they're not Puerto Rican, that they're Moor. And they exercised as a Moor and did not get a ticket, did not get arrested. Come on. All the stuff we showed today, you can't tell me that it makes sense to at least go look into nationality a little bit. Just go check. Just do a little bit of research, because, we know that we have to present facts to our people. So we gave you facts today. We gave you hard facts. Right? There's no fact more strong than a testimonial. Because you're talking about experience now. You're not talking about the individual who thought what it was like or assumed it's going to go like this. You're talking to individuals who went through the fire and came out the other side to tell you what happens in fire. And what happens in the center there? Don't worry, I'll find out for you. Well, you don't want to go in there. Yeah, but you just went and you don't want to go in there. Because they were themselves. They weren't some papers. They weren't some cards. They knew that, hold on a second. He's asking for a name, and I don't have a name. Then, like, they're stopped. They're stuck. If he says license, and I don't have a license, you better have a nationality if you don't have something. Don't be, you black guys want to get hype. Don't want to be Moors. Put on a Moor t-shirt and say, yeah, I'm a Moor. I'm going to try this. No, it doesn't work like that, buddy. Immediately stop what you're doing. Don't even consider it. Because it will not work for you. Why? Because nationality has to be established by the individual before exercising of rights. No nationality, no exercising. Better go study. I'm just gonna do nationality study later. That's. Drawley said, if I don't do anything else, okay, well, you know that much, then sure, why not? Might as well. If you know that much, then sure, study later. Spirit's probably making you say you're a Moor when you don't even have anything, and you want to find the process. You know that you're a Moor though, but when I get my papers, then are you black? No, I'm a Moor, but I sent the stuff, and then when it comes, then I'm gonna send the papers out, and then I'm gonna officially start being a Moor. Yeah, but you just said you're not black. Yeah, I'm not black. So that means you're a Moor. Yeah, but the paper, forget the papers. You're a Moor. Let that marinate. Put that on 3 on the stove and just let it simmer. You can put the cover on. Right? Just let it simmer. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to taste or nothing like that. Just let it simmer. We'll do something for 5 minutes. Let it digest that you're a Moor without these papers and cards and stuff you see on YouTube. People got this and that. Everybody's trying to show the right way. You're a Moor before anybody gives you anything. Birthrights. That's why we told the Moor who knew the Borican, send the testimonial. Right? That's why, again, we always use Brother Landry. He's from over there. He's from other side of the Atlantic. But he knows he's Moor though. He's not none of that stuff that they call across the Atlantic. Because he knows that those are corporations over there. He knows that over there where he's from, the throne, the black man's throne, where he's from, he knows that those are corporations over there, and he can't be citizen of those. That if he goes there, he's going to be Moor. Not going to be what those people say. You're not a subject. He's naturalized. He's not foreigner. He's in his own land. Yeah, but he came from across that's part of the Moroccan Empire. So because part of the Moroccan Empire, he's home. Right? And then, which is why, if you've been watching the House of Ram classes, right? You'll see the reference point again of a Moor that won in court that they never You know, they always want to see well more that one in court. Well, how come they don't talk about Brother Hosang L, who quote unquote Chinese guy? He's Chinese guy, gonna lose his house, did some writs, bam, 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 shut these people down. Or with billing onto his house. These people want to do permits and all this. Try to rape him. Well, you guys don't have jurisdiction. I'm part of the Moroccan Empire. I'm more subject. You guys are foreigners. And judge is like, you guys don't bother this guy. Yeah, but shh, don't bother that guy. But Your Honor, the guy went out and then he didn't have the permit of the... Shh. Don't bother that guy. Case closed. Got to bill whatever it was that he was billing. He's not from here. He said that he's a Moor though in his papers. He didn't say that he was a Chinese guy. He didn't say that he was sovereign Chinese of the, you know, world court, whatever. He said he's Moor. And beat these people up in court. One. Case closed. No more case. Yeah. Case closed. No more case. For all the people who are talking BS. Oh, ha ha. Highwayman. Highwayman laughed when you said you're from Canaanland. Ha, they know that it's Canada. Ha, you guys are... Case dismissed though. How come you're not going to talk about case dismissed? How come you're not going to talk about case dismissed? You're going to talk about everything else, but you never ever talk about case dismissed. How come you guys never went on... You guys have talk all this BS about right to travel. How come none of you guys went and commented on Brother Wasim's video? How come? He got his own tags and stuff like that. He got stopped by highwayman. He ain't getting kidnapped, arrested, nothing like that. He's exercising right to travel. How come nobody's on his stuff talking BS about it doesn't work and all that? Because they know. Scimitar is swinging. Scimitar is swinging in the other way now. And either you're going to move out the way, let people get their slice in half, or you're going to lose an arm or something when they get sliced in half. So it's up to you, really and truly. It's really up to you. Oh, Brother Mario L. Peace, fam. First off, I want to thank you and Canaanland Moors for all of your positive energy and being 100% active within the Moorish nation. In this modern time, our people are mentally dead, so it takes will, patience, understanding, and persistence to even attempt to uplift such people. With that being said, we Moors have a lot of work to do. There are several issues that I see within our Moorish nation that needs immediate attention. Lack of understanding, no patience, lack of discipline, unrealistic ideas, and so on. Furthermore, I receive emails daily regarding nationalization. Remember, when you nationalize, this is a mindset. There is no paperwork that can free you. I repeat, there is no paperwork that can free you. Your positive thoughts manifested is what frees an individual. When your mind is corrected, your actions will follow. In order to get a better understanding of this movement, I encourage you to study Prophet Noble Drew Ali. His modest words will precisely guide you like a GPS system if you follow his words. However, there are many Moors that are very confused. I challenge the family to separate themselves from all negativity for a month, and you will see your life unfold before your eyes. To be exact, negativity includes family and friends, music, food, thoughts, study habits, etc. If You go online, you will see all sorts of crazy challenges. What's in the box challenge, pancake art challenge, guess her age challenge, ugly singing challenge, and so on. So when are you going to challenge yourself to stay away from all negativity challenge? To grow up and take responsibility for your actions challenge. Think about it. On another note, regarding law, Moors need not to enforce laws unless you are ready for what comes with it. Furthermore, if you get caught up in a legal situation, know that this is something you created and must handle yourself. RV Bay Publications, Canaanland Moors, Kudro, myself, or anyone associated with us assist in uplifting your state of mind, not paying your bail or fighting a case you have gotten yourself into due to being incompetent, greedy, or otherwise. According to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, one must walk through the fire. This is how you learn, through experience. Another one of our elders, Taj Tariq Bey, stated, pain is a great teacher. With that, I will end it here. Exercise love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Peace and love, family. Mario L. Bay. Right? And just to go back to some points. Right, so the issues that need attention, right? We have to go for opposite of lack of understanding, opposite of no patience, opposite of lack of discipline, opposite of unrealistic ideas, and so on. It has to be, you know, people have their petition or whatever like that, campaigning for something or whatever like that. It has to be a campaign. Right? It has to be a campaign where Moors, we don't care whoever else is on this or not on this, you know what I mean? That's on them. As Moors, right, we're on our stay away from all negativity challenge. We're on our grow up challenge, take responsibility challenge. Recognize your own actions probably got you in some BS that you shouldn't have been in challenge, right? Recognizing that as continuously evolving Moors, there's always going to have to be, you know, detox. There's always going to have to be fast. Not forget Ramadan. Fasting happens all 365. There's always vices that need to get checked. Not one time a year you check vices and every other time it's cool, vices are alright. No. Shut them down. Right? Just like what the Moor was saying at the beginning. We have to weed out this Negro black colored if we're talking about have something. Right? We have to weed that out. As far as Moors are concerned, people who are proclaimed and know who they are. Right? There has to be, again, going back again to what the brother said, the lessons in the Quran, the divine instructions, these are selected for Moors. Noble Drew Ali penned these purposely for Moors classified as Negro black color for them to get out of their Negro mindset. But remember that every time we read something, go back, read it again, you're going to get something different. They read it again, you're going to get something different. They read it again, you're going to get something, and you're going to keep getting something different, which is why Quran even tells you, you know, don't get caught up in getting knowledge, because you can't take all that stuff to the grave or whatever. You're not. Don't worry about getting all that knowledge. The soul will dictate to you what you need to know. So when You know, let's say you go to the thrift store, you know, just on the strength, you go in the thrift store. And big and bold right in front of you, you know what I mean, just sitting there, you know, a 4th edition Black's Law Dictionary, or, you know, a book that says Moors on the front or whatever like that. Pick that up. Don't sleep on that. Don't look, oh wow, that's interesting, that says something, and then put that back and go about your business. No, that's divine intervention working with you to make sure that you're on the right path. You wouldn't have been in that store and seen that if it wasn't for you to see it. And it wasn't for anybody else, only for yourself, right? So make sure that, you know, even though you're studying, that you're not going crazy, right? You're not going crazy. Take your time. It's all mind. Just before we close out and get these other questions, but we're probably going to revisit that Mario letter to the Moors on for Sunday's class. Brother Bluty Bay. Questions. How to love instead of hate when you've been loving towards some people and they've been plotting the whole time? Well, like we're saying in, where was it at? Oh yeah, with the Moorish proverb, man knows not by being told. The adept responded and said, without an enemy, a soldier never knows his strength. Without struggle, how can you truly appreciate success? Now, the struggle is trying to grasp or trying to understand how it is that somebody can go against you when you know you put your all in, right? We always have to go back to Yahshua's lesson of in this world, not of this world. So certain things that happen in this jurisdiction is really not for you. It's for the other crazed lunatic. It's not for yourself. So how do you love instead of hate when you've been loving towards some people and they're plotting out the whole time? Keep loving them. You could tough love them. You know. You could stone heart love them. You know, where you're just not going to take their BS. You be polite. You be rude and, you know what I mean, key people's car and bust their windows and stuff like that. Yeah, go through all that. You know, continue to be yourself and recognize that this individual that's been plotting is a foe, and that foe is to test your strength to see really where you're at. All these foes, you see all these people jumping on RV Bay or whatever like that, tag teaming and stuff like that, you know. You got the Matrix that they got the 50 agents just jump on RV Bay like, yeah, we got them pinned down or whatever. You know? Without a foe, you're never gonna know. So, you know, just take these plotting bastards as a foe. You know? But know that, you know, when you have foes, it's time to shimitar up that, you know, begging and pleading and stuff like that ain't helping. Because they started, so you're finishing. And, you know, you finish whenever, because you're the national, right? You're the one with the principles. Okay, so let them plot. That's just what they do. Right? What's a few ways to break down studying, condense, and heavy or life-changing information? For the best way to break down studying is in you know, subject matter. So if you're studying history, right? The history that you're going to be studying is Moorish history. Like, that's it. If there's any stuff outside of that, you get to it later. If in studying Moorish history it leads you places, then you know, you check it out or whatever like that, see what's up. But deal with subject matter. If it's astrology, then it's astrology. Don't be astrology and, you know, other things, and like, because we're coming into you know, this vast reservoir of knowledge, you know, that, you know, you take a cup out and you're good for generations with a cup from this well. You know what I mean? But if we're pulling up buckets and all that stuff, it's going to be overwhelming. So, and also too, go back to school mentally and your learning style. Which teachers knew how to get you to whatever, right? Which teachers inspired you to ace their class? Take those things and then apply those things into studying the different subject matters. You know what I mean? So when, you know, math sucked, right? Math sucked. Hated it, right? But if there's sports in it, then math was the bomb. We do math all day. I want to go to no more classes. Let's just do math all day, just because. We got to deal with sports. You got to deal with, you know, length, angle, width, and all that stuff, but it's based on ball court or track and field or, you know what I mean, high jump. You know, how far is this stuff? You know what I mean? So there's always a way that you can relate. There's always a way that you can take all this information and encapsulate it so you can get everything out that one pill, opposed to, you know, having to go through all these rigorous stuff. But that's gonna come with you, you know, again, knowing yourself, going on the Quran, right? Finding certain chapters that resonate with you, reading those chapters, taking out what it is that you were supposed to learn from those in order to apply to whatever else it is that you're doing. Mainly, you know, like Brother Mario was saying, you know, taking responsibility for, you know, everything. Taking responsibility for what goes in your mind, taking responsibility for what goes in your mouth, take responsibility for what you touch, what you smell, take responsibility for what you think, take responsibility for how you treat people, you know what I mean? So it's vast, but don't get overwhelmed, you know what I mean? Don't get overwhelmed. How to move out of emotional states. Somebody actually told me this last night or whatever. In them, like they had anxiety issues, right? You know, emotional state. Some type of trigger brings on this thing, right? Anxiety attack or whatever. So there's a point where they realize the attack's gonna happen. Like something happens when they realize that, oh my gosh, this thing's coming. Well, as soon as they realize that, they start with their breathing. Right? They do their 7, inhale 7, hold 4, exhale 7. Inhale 7, hold 4, and then they do it 5 times. Right? That was just what, their little ritual or whatever. And then when they did that, the anxiety would be more manageable. It wasn't gone because, from what they understood, that it's something from, near childhood that they're dealing with. Emotionally, why this anxiety thing comes up, where, they see a certain color or they see anything that reminds them of that time, they're going to get the attack. But they realize that it's not, it's not just, it just doesn't all happen at once. Like they feel the anxiety attack coming on, so they know how to. So it's the same thing with the emotional states. That, certain things, there's certain, like if you're dealing with some trying matters having to do with loved ones or whatever like that, your emotional state is gonna be in an imbalance, right? Because you're dealing with, something dear to your heart or whatever, But recognize again that man is mind. Man is not the emotions and the senses and those things. Man is what he thinks. So, just like with the anxiety, these emotional states are not, they just come out of nowhere. It's led up to, but most of the time we miss the lead up. So it appears that it just happened. But if we sit back and we analyze it, we'll realize that, oh, I felt a certain way when, and then that's when it would have been started. As far as, and again, moving from the emotional states, it's always having a place, because man is mind, so always having a place in your mind, always having an oasis mentally where you can extract whatever it is that, like it might have been you had the most amazing conversation with somebody and that put you in a place. That place should be somewhere that anytime you need that feeling, you should be able to go there. Because that's a memory, which is mental. And if man is mind, then that place is accessible anytime that you want. How powerful is your mind to invoke that place again? So as soon as you feel the low vibratory emotional state, because there's good emotional states, you're not gonna, want to move out of happy emotional states. If you're in a happy emotional state, stay there as long as you can. It's the negative emotional states that you want to get out of. Sometimes it's good to be angry. Sometimes you have to vent. You have to release that pent up whatever. You know what I mean? It is bad if you're taking that out on somebody, but if you're taking that out on dirt or a rock or whatever like that, hey, you know what I mean? Do your thing, get it out. So to move from emotional states, all is mind and breathing. Remember breathing. Because breathing will fix your mind. Breathing will calm your mind. Get some cells vibrating. And before we close out, how to put together a case. the most, and the other questions we'll deal with Sunday, or you could just link me up if they're pertinent, and we could just talk about them. As far as putting together a case, nothing matters more than the cause of action. Why? Why are you putting together a case? What's the issue? What led to this point of you saying, I put together a case on somebody? It starts there. Cause of action. From, you know, the inception of the incident to what's making you say that you want to pursue this further against whoever it is, whatever it is, right? Cause of action, right? And again, when you're talking about put together a case, you're talking about going to a court. So make sure that you're researching the courts to find out if they're courts. Just put them in Dun and Bradstreet. It'll let you know whether they're court or whether they're business. If they come up on Dun and Bradstreet, clearly they're business, they're administrative. So, you know, now you're looking at, you know, is it really a case? Just like we're saying. Is it really something that they can give you if you know, whoever it is that you decide to build a case on? Is it really something that they can give you? Or do you just want to be left alone because these people, you know, continually harass or bother you, right? Because remember, if you sue, you're suing to get the right to exercise. You're not suing to get something. You're suing to be able to have the right. You're suing to be able to exercise what it is they've been hindering you from exercising, right? So, with that, you know, apologies about the questions, but the first call went pretty good, and we didn't even get to go to this one, but if you want to check for this one out there, Blackamoors, Africans in Tudor England, their presence, status, and origins. Crazy where they're going with this one. Right? The connection between Indians, blacks, Africans, gypsies, all this stuff going in. Just so we know that, you know, they know that we're all same people. Ain't nothing to debate or whatever like that. You could debate all they want, but, you know, Moor's the name. Everybody knows. Yeah, we had all these other names, but the name right now, Moors. Say that, thing's over. Say all this other stuff, then here we are. Classes still. So Islam to everybody. Peace and love. We again, this is gonna be last class on Tuesday for next 2 weeks. Right? So we'll just close out. Again, Islam to all the Moors. Give thanks to Brother Bay and his Moabites for, you know, adding on to class today. Islam to all the Moors for their testimonials. If you are out there and, you know, something happened to you that, you know, you just gotta let somebody know, because, you know, this might inspire them more. Send us an email, canaanlandguide@gmail.com. Put your name on the record, put your appellation on the record, put your title on the record, put your story on the record, so we can inspire Moors to recognize the truth about their nationality and birthrights, and that this is not just some religious whatever. This is real. And don't forget, Blog Talk Radio, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. blogtalkradio.com, MHHS Eyes Wide Open. Call-in number 425-569-5201, 425-569-5201. or 347-945-5899. That's tonight, Blog Talk Radio. Peace and love and Islam to all Moors. Let's just close out. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Ashe, Islam. Ameen. Peace and love, Moors.
Patch up this life's work with a little more aid and the fight hurt to keep me here a little longer, just a little stronger. Keep me a ponder a dream and praying mother stop burying the babies in the dirt. How life work, no longer mysticized when I lift my eyes. This is how the strife hurt, and I'm confined to a mind that only believes in false hopes, strained through a sea of lies down the drain where the soul lurks. Couldn't believe my eyes, years searching, broken. How could I deny what you've stolen? Cheating only leaves me peace in the breakdowns mentally. Single mother raised 4, 2 sons, 2 daughters, and a second daughter only meant to be another single mother. She raised 4, and only princess knew that she gon' add to the score. It's a team effort, right? As the cycle repeats, my socio-political economic defeat sweep me right from under my feet. Short days, long nights, cold hungry in the streets. Brothers and sisters from another mister. Still I'm left alone to defend my demons. Still left to own this life from the egg and semen. Make dirty wrongs clean, right? Friends turn enemies, loved ones memories fade. No pretty picture. Watch the vibration raise on the Richter. I stand motionless, emotionless. Desensitize me until you motion this voice for the underprivileged. Those getting this years after I wrote it. Take back no talk when I fall back to reconnect with the rodents. Back when life was good, oblivious to this axis that balanced this beam to this dream full of actors. I only wanna wake up realer than the night I fell asleep in. Make my story seeping from thought processes to the news bulletin. Cause this is more than public outcries of devastation. This is more than the extreme of extremes living in one nation. This is more than the poverty, the fornication by the adulterers who raped me then escaped me before I called for help. See, I called your name when I stood by myself in silence. The silence enshrouded me, clouded me, strapped trying to get ahead, strapped for the bread. I cried for help with pockets picked and 5-figure discounts to live like I was free. Free like fear never lived here. Till my house burned down, I never kissed fear. Still I drip tears, spare me pity. No care for the ones who didn't see me waiting in the jail cells, denied any chance to a bail in my city where I'm designed to follow, fall, fail. Already getting debt letters in the mail for the bird fly from the nest to set sail. I only wonder where my hoop dreams would've took me before I gave up the bite for the cookie. I wonder how it would be if my mom looked me in my eyes and really taught me how a woman should be. And never abandoned by my dad who was supposed to be the man. Maybe my baby dad would be where he could be. Still I'm here. But I'm still here, so call me what you want. My vision's clear, so call it what you want, but I feel I'm the perfect example of what a woman should be. Just look me in my eye, tell me how I would be, could be, should be, before I die.